Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look at what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking all about Venus entering Leo, Uranus sextile Neptune, and Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. But in case you missed it, last week, Virgo season began. If you missed that episode, I strongly recommend going back and checking that episode out, since Virgo season has a lot of transits and things happening. So not one to miss. Definitely check out last week's episode if you didn't already.
And just to give you a heads up, next week there's a lot of things that we are going to talk about, including Mercury in Virgo, Jupiter trine the North Node, Uranus retrograde, and the lunar eclipse in Pisces. We will tell you all about those transits and how they will affect you.
And with that being said, let's dive into the episode. So the first thing happening this week that you're going to want to pay attention to is Venus entering Leo. This will be on August 25th at 12:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. What you need to know is that Venus in Leo will bring a very bold and confident and also expressive energy to your relationships. This is typically a time where you want to be more out in the public eye and show up more unapologetically.
How you will feel. With Venus in Leo, you're going to feel more playful, expressive, and excited to be around others. You may seek encouragement from others or just appreciation in general. This is a good time to share your excitement about any passions you have and to just be very open with the way that you feel.
So where this will show up in your life, this could look like wanting to be more self-expressive, whether that be through any creative mediums or even through something like your fashion choices. And also, since Venus is related to finances, this could also show up as wanting to invest more time or money into your self-expression and creative interests.
What will become important to you? During this time, you're going to be focused on believing in yourself, showing up authentically, and wanting to feel valued, whether that's by your friends, at work, or even when you share your ideas. This is a good time to focus more on embracing who you are. And overall, this is a good transit to spend time with others, especially those that make you feel understood and valued.
If you're wondering how long this lasts, Venus will be in Leo up until September 19th at 8:39 a.m. when it will enter Virgo.
And per usual, certain signs will be affected more than others. The signs that are most affected by Venus in Leo are Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio placements. By placements, we mean Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, and or Mars placements only.
And certain rising signs are more likely to find love than others because this is a Venus transit, and those rising signs will be Aquarius rising, since Venus will be in the 7th house of relationships, or also Aries rising, since Venus will be in the 5th house of romance, and that is rising sign only. There are a few key dates you're going to want to pay attention to. These are the aspects that Venus will make as it moves through Leo. Starting off the day that Venus enters Leo, Venus will trine Saturn, which can add a more serious tone to some of the creative ideas that you're looking to explore. This is more of a day for thinking long term.
And then on August 26th, Venus will be sextile Uranus and trine Neptune. This is a good day for creativity, inspiration, and trying something new that feels very exciting or meaningful to you.
And then on August 27th, Venus will be opposite Pluto, which can bring about some struggles as you might be confronted with some intense realizations or certain truths about all things Venus, relationships, finances, or creativity.
And lastly, on September 15th, Venus will be sextile Mars. This aspect will bring about a very motivating and bold energy. It's a good day to work with others and to explore creative ideas.
So, the next thing happening this week that you're going to want to pay attention to is Uranus sextile Neptune. This will happen on August 28th at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you need to know is this is an outer planet aspect that will have more of a societal influence rather than a personal one. However, we'll be combining the very innovative energy of Uranus with the more inspirational energy of Neptune. So this could feel like a day for brainstorming some really big, bold, new creative ideas or taking the leap towards making a change.
How you will feel. On this day, you might notice that you feel both energized and a little bit more grounded. You might notice that you feel a little bit closer to the goals that you set or things that you've been hoping for. Even if things feel a little bit messy right now, you might find that you have some renewed sense of confidence or intuition that everything will come together soon.
So, where this will show up in your life, this, as we mentioned earlier, is more societal. So, this might be something you just notice happening around you where there are new ideas being born or new tools, new people showing up in your life, or there might be some new insights towards some creative long-term projects. But in your personal life, this could look like coming across people or tools that can help you approach life in a more aligned but also imaginative way.
What will become important to you? Because Uranus always brings about changes, this aspect is really going to help you to focus on making change in your life that actually matters. It's more about building new habits or choosing to do things that really feel aligned with you, not just because you feel like you're supposed to or doing something a certain way because that's how you've always done it. Any changes that happen around this time, it's going to be more focused on things that are really going to enhance your life.
And the next thing happening this week that is worth noting is Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. This is on September 1st at 4:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you need to know is that Saturn has been retrograde in the sign of Aries, and when it retrogrades back into Pisces, the shift will be more towards boundaries, healing, and balancing practicality with your dreams. Something worth noting is that starting from this retrograde up until it stations direct and moves forward, this is the last time that we'll experience Saturn in Pisces. So this retrograde might feel like a second or even a last chance to finish the work you might have started earlier in the Saturn in Pisces cycle.
How you will feel. During the retrograde, you're going to feel more reflective and maybe even look back on things more than usual. You might notice old habits or goals coming to mind and realize that it's time to reset them. It's a good moment to slow down, wrap things up, and take care of yourself.
So, where this will show up in your life, since Saturn is a very disciplined and focused energy, anywhere you've been resisting that Saturn-like structure or even avoiding accountability, this will be something that is highlighted, especially when it comes to your emotional world, how you feel, since this is in a water sign, as well as your creative life and even possibly your healing journey.
So, what will become important to you? During this retrograde time, you're going to take your healing more seriously and take ownership of your goals and dreams, especially in how you show up for yourself and the things that you believe in.
And if you're wondering how long this lasts, Saturn will stay retrograde in Pisces until November 27th at 10:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when the retrograde will end. But Saturn will re-enter Aries on February 13th of 2026 at 7:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So including the retrograde and the direct motion, September 1st 2025 through February 14th, 2026 are the final days of Saturn in Pisces.
And again, certain signs will be affected more than others. The signs that are most affected by Saturn retrograde in Pisces are Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius placements.
And that is it for this week's episode. Just a reminder, next week, a lot of things are happening. Mercury in Virgo, Jupiter trine the North Node, Uranus retrograde, and the lunar eclipse in Pisces. So if you want to know more about that, then make sure wherever you're listening to the podcast, you're subscribed with the notifications turned on so you don't miss when we post next week. But until then, that is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday. Bye.